Hello everyone, if this is your first time here on my channel, thank you for checking out this video. And if you're returning, welcome back. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. My name is Sam, and I am your host and card reader here at the By Priestess, where in this video, we are saying goodbye to bad vibes, limiting beliefs, and outdated patterns that no longer serve us. And we're instead saying hello to gratitude, inner and outer peace, and determination to meet our goals. If you have anything in your life that you're trying to release or say goodbye to, or that you're trying to invite in and say hello to, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I can use them in future videos to help you with your intentions. For today's reading, we're going to be exploring what opportunities are on their way to you and what signs you can look out for when they show up. If you've never done a pick a card tarot reading before, each of these cards in front of me represents a pile, or a group reading. Any card, or cards, you can pick multiple, that you're drawn to most likely have a message in them for you. Since the readings are for larger groups instead of individuals, they can cover a wider array of topics, so I recommend taking what resonates with you and leaving the rest. To help you choose your pile better, I also have some crystal clarifiers associated with each pile. I'll give you a closer look at them in a moment, and we'll give you time for a 30-second meditation to choose your piles as well. First, I'm going to give some disclaimers. All messages divined on this channel are with your highest good in mind. Tarot readings are meant to empower you and provide clarity. If anything causes you distress or does not resonate, it is not meant for you and you do not have to keep the message. Secondly, you do have free will and the cards cannot override that. The future is not set in stone, and cards on the internet have no power over you and the decisions you make in your own life. And lastly, I'm not doing individual readings at this time. If there are any messages you get from someone claiming to be me for a reading, it is not me, so please use your discretion with any comments or DMs you receive, because I will not message you directly for a reading. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get started on the pile selection. I'll show you each crystal clarifier up close and we'll give you a short 30-second meditation. I recommend during this meditation to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, then open your eyes to see which piles your eyes are drawn to the most. If you need more time to come to a decision, I have a short 5-minute meditation that can connect you with your intuition here, if you'd like to do that before you decide. In terms of the pile selection, you can choose based on the crystal clarifiers, the numbers and the timestamps below, or you can even listen to all of the piles if you feel called to do so, and then choose which messages were meant for you throughout. For the crystal clarifiers, we have 3 piles to choose from today. For pile 1, we have a flower agate tower. For pile 2, we have a double point tourmalated quartz. And then for pile 3, we have a green calcite. So I'll start up the music to begin the meditation. Feel free to take your time and choose your piles. Alright everyone, the 30 seconds is up, so if you need more time, I recommend pausing the video now. Please select your pile at the timestamp below, and I will see you at your reading. Hi pile 1. So if you chose this flower agate tower, this is your reading. So I do have some cards pre-shuffled here, so we're starting out with a card that talks about your energy right now, and we have the Strength card. So the Strength card is a beautiful card that talks about our ability to balance our personal power with a sensitive side, with vulnerability. the lion here is not a display of aggression per se, but the way that he allows this woman to interact with him kind of shows his softer side, really, which with this lemniscate here, the infinity symbol, it kind of shows that the vulnerability and sensitivity that we have is actually a more sustainable source of strength than violence or aggression. So with the strength card, I do see you as a very persevering person. You're someone who is very resolved that they're going to kind of become the person that they're meant to be, and they're also going to create the life that they are meant for. So I feel like with you specifically, you have been working on maybe some limiting beliefs about yourself and are like challenging those. I feel like you're also trying to focus in more on what you need internally as well as externally. So you could be really focused on self-care or kind of healing as well. So I feel like you've been doing a lot of work to accept yourself fully and express yourself fully, and I think that that's really just a wonderful thing for anybody to do. The more that we show up as authentically ourselves, the more we give people the opportunity to be there for us or to connect with us truly. You've maybe been working with authenticity and working on how you relate to others as well. And with the number 8 here, as well as this lemniscate, this little infinity symbol, both of these are symbols of abundance. They're symbols of being rich in so many different things. It doesn't just have to particularly be money, but being rich in who you are, in how you experience the world, in how you experience a moment and things like that. It typically talks about like success and what that means for you, and it doesn't have to be monetarily, right? It could also be however you most feel fulfilled. So I feel like you've been doing a lot of work on that. Red and yellow are also colors of emotion and connecting with yourself emotionally, and I think that you've been really looking at where you want to go, who you want to be, and how you want to experience your life. This card has come out quite a couple times recently in my most recent reading, so I wonder if maybe we've gone over this card before. So today we're going to be looking specifically at what opportunities are on their way to you, as well as some symbols that you can look for when they start arising. So we have, for your first opportunity, we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant talks about tradition. It talks about connecting to spirit in a way that you would need to follow a divine order or doctrine. Like, we have someone who is kind of a religious figurehead, someone who is able to divine messages directly from spirit and then dictate them outward, and then we're able to learn through this divine order how to get closer to spirit ourselves. So with the Hierophant, this is kind of an outdated card in a sense, because, you know, people in this position are very few now. But I do see with the Hierophant a deeper connection to spirit and kind of finding your own voice as well. So typically at the bottom of this card, I can hold it up so you can see it a little bit closer. So typically with this card, the keys here on the ground are usually by this person's feet, and then these two people are usually like bowing, but because these little ladybug guys are holding on to the keys, I think you are actually able to grab those keys for yourself and connect with yourself spiritually in a way that maybe you haven't before. You might start experiencing a deeper connection with spirit, the earth, and that makes a lot of sense as well, because we are coming up on, you know, the thinning of the veil and things like that within the fall. So I feel like you are going to get a new grasp on something. You might be learning from someone, you might have, you might be taking a class, or you might be in school still, you might be training at work, but you might also start using what you've learned to work on your own. So you might move from like a mentorship to becoming the mentor. That's kind of the the idea that I'm getting. So you might start teaching, or you might start like a study group or working with people a bit more often, and kind of test drive leadership. The leadership that you received, you're now kind of test driving that and seeing how you can help connect people with spirit, or how you can help give people the answers that they need. And then I have a card as to why this is coming through for you, and we have the Eight of Wands. So again, this feels like a creative endeavor. This feels like a scholarly endeavor. This is something with the wand suit specifically. It is about creativity, it's about passion, it's about inspiration. So with the Eight of Wands, we have all these wands moving up from the sky. So again, this feels very spiritual. So like up from the spiritual plane down to the earth, right? Like they're literally moving from heaven down. And we have another 8 here as well. So I feel like this is abundant knowledge, abundant inspiration. You might, if you are moving into a leadership position in some sense, you might be able to kind of find your own way of doing it, and have a new kind of voice and way that you are able to reach out to people. And I think that this is also going to multiply the inspiration that you have. If you're a creative person, you're going to start creating even more frequently, or you're going to start using creative avenues to get different conclusions about what it is that you know and how far you can take it. So I think that that is really, really cool. For your second opportunity that's coming forward, we have the 10 of Pentacles. I'm going to move this over here now. I'm going to put this on top as well. So the 10 of Pentacles. And this is abundance again coming through. So in terms of opportunity, I feel like this is a career opportunity, or there might be some way that you're able to employ this situation into maybe a business strategy, or it could be part of your career, or maybe you're getting more knowledge and applying your creativity to then get a new career, or make yourself more marketable. I feel like this is most likely going to happen first, and then it's going to be this. But with the 10 of Pentacles, we have not just money, not just comfort financially. We're talking about money that you're able to continue growing on like a cycle. So you might be learning finance, you might be learning how to get that stuff in order. And with the 10 of Pentacles, we have 10, which is the end of a cycle. 10 also reduces back to 1 in numerology. It's the beginning of a cycle and the end of a cycle. So it just keeps multiplying. So I feel like with this other opportunity, you're going to feel a lot more connected with yourself, with the people around you. You're able to kind of relax a little bit more, whereas the Hierophant can talk about like rigid schedules and routines as a means of discipline, as a means of spiritual discipline or scholarly discipline. And so with the 10 of Pentacles, I feel like things are a little bit more free for you. You're able to connect with people. You're able to go out if you want to go out, or stay in if you want to stay in, and find ways that work best for you. This is also a card of ancestry as well, and family. So I feel like the opportunity here is if you have family members where things have been kind of rocky with your relationship, you may have the ability to reconcile with them if you so choose. Or with your family in general, there may be some ancestors, if you are working on a spiritual path, that may be reaching out to you in different ways as well. So I would definitely look out for that if that's something that feels like it resonates with you. And then the reason why the 10 of Pentacles is coming through, we have the World and we have the 8 of Pentacles. So another 8, so 8, 8, 8. So big abundance. That's so crazy. With the World card, this is probably one of the most positive cards of the deck. I feel like you have learned a lot about yourself and about the world around you, and you've actually completed a lot of karmic cycles in terms of your growth. So I think that you are still learning, you're still pushing forward, and maybe you just needed this message of encouragement that the work that you're doing is going to have a payoff. But I'm here to tell you that it absolutely is. If this is something that you've been kind of questioning whether you're doing the right things, I'm here to tell you that you are. With the World card, we have a big celebration of something that is done, something that is finished, something that we have completed. And with the Eight of Pentacles, we have someone who is trusting the universe, has surrendered to the universe, and is also working through it. They're still having, like, they still have dedication to their craft. They're still working on creating abundance for themselves in a situation that may be a little bit more uncertain. But with this over the Ten of Pentacles, I really feel like this is something that is going to work out for you in the most beautiful way. And so the abundance that is going to be around you is going to be spiritual. It is going to be self-fulfillment, but it is going to be financial, physical. If you're worried about housing or where you currently live, I think that you're going to be in a much more comfortable position very soon. So with these opportunities that are on their way to you, they may also be a comfortable and loving home, chosen family or found family. They could be reconciling with your family members that you do have or your friends that you do have. But regardless, I think that there is going to be a major cause for celebration here because of the work that you've done, the changes you've made, and the message really is to just like keep going and know that if things are uncertain right now, that the way forward is really the only thing you can focus on right now, and that's okay. So I have some signs that we can also look out for when these opportunities are on their way to you. So a couple signs already that are coming through is, I would say, ladybugs are a good sign. This is on its way. We also have, I feel like cows specifically. If you start seeing cows randomly, that might be a good clarifier as well. Lions as well are also good. I believe, yeah, this is a lion, and then we have a lion here. So lions, maybe you might meet a Leo or a Taurus. We also have labradorite. So the crystal, I have some labradorite here. So this is what labradorite looks like in real life. So it's got all of these colors that are like underneath the top layer of the stone. So you may see labradorite, you may see kind of something with this sheen on it of different colors, so like holographic stuff. You might start seeing a lot of like holographic things, or just like rainbows might also be a good sign for you. Labradorite is also a stone of inner knowing, of intuition. So I feel like you'll also start getting signs internally, and you'll start getting like a feeling of, okay, something's changing. I'm not too sure what, but something is changing here, and just start following your intuition, and then you're going to end up with either a mentor or you'll start moving out of mentorship and they'll give you a leadership position or like things like that. So I'm really seeing like you starting to get these like gut feelings. Maybe it'll show up even as like a restlessness of wanting to move on to different things. But I will say that, you know, labradorite, or you might be gifted a crystal. That might also be it. That's how you know you will start moving into this next phase. And then for the Ten of Pentacles, we have two different plants here. Okay, so with Iboga, it does say that there are small white flowers and orange fruits on this plant. So if you start seeing little white flowers, that might also resonate with you. Also, 29 and 30 is interesting here that we have that progression. So you may see small white flowers, you may see new plants, or you may also be gifted a plant as well, and that's kind of going to start ushering in that abundance for you. If you have plants already, I definitely recommend working with them whether it's a garden or a little house plant, things like that, definitely start working with them. And I think something will be revealed within them as well. There might be a shift in how they grow, or something interesting might happen with the plant that will kind of usher in this abundance as well. All right, Pile 1, that is all that I'm seeing for you at this time. Thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I hope it provided you with clarity and perspective that helps you on your journey. If this reading resonated with you, please feel free to like this video, subscribe, or leave a comment. I do also have a virtual tip jar as well if you feel so inclined, but you definitely don't have to leave a tip. They're not expected, but are very appreciated, and will go directly back into the channel as well. If you're interested in learning tarot for yourself, I do have some resources and digital downloads available on my Etsy store, which is linked down in the description box below. And if you're looking for more content from me, I do have more pick a card readings in my timeless pick a card playlist. And if you've made it this far in the video, I do want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I wish you all the best, Pile 1. See you next time. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this tourmalated quartz crystal, this is your reading. So I have some cards that are pre-shuffled here. I'm going to start with one for your energy specifically. So we have the Page of Pentacles. I'm gonna tuck this under here. There we go. So with the Page of Pentacles, the pages are the students of the deck. So they are people who are learning about the suit, so the suit being Pentacles, before embarking on the journey of the suit. So this person is literally holding this pentacle in their hands and are studying it. So typically the Page of Pentacles is someone who is a student, or is someone who is learning on the job. So you might be learning a new career, or you might be learning a new career avenue, or a new way to make yourself more marketable, things like that. So I feel like you are someone who is very dedicated to the things that inspire you. You may be someone who sees yourself as a perpetual student, as someone who is always learning about the world around them. You could be very inquisitive, and really just open to learning about the world and about the things around you. And you might also be learning to kind of feel better with the physical things that you have. So whether it's where you are at home, so physically where you are, like the location that you are, or with the things that are around you. You might be learning, I'm getting like home design, things like that. You might be learning ways to cultivate your space that make you feel more comforted and more at home and more yourself. I think you're kind of learning that your environment kind of dictates how you feel and how you see things as well. So there's definitely a lot here. You could also be someone who works with your hands. You might be a creative, or like an artisan who makes this, or a tradesman, someone who makes something specific as a job, or is learning to make new things. So that's really, really cool energy. You might also be an earth sign. You definitely don't have to be. There's a very grounded energy that's coming from this pile in general. So we're going to be looking today at different opportunities that are on their way to you. And so for your first opportunity, we have the Four of Wands, which is a wonderful card. So the Four of Wands is one of the most positive in the deck, to be honest with you. It talks about a happy home. So again, home is coming up. It can also talk about a wedding. We do have these two beetles here that are getting married. Usually it depicts some sort of wedding, or some sort of like festival, things like that. So I feel like you are going to be celebrating something that you have created, or something that you have fostered that has been a process for you. You might see the end of it, or you might get to a point where you're like, I'm ready to share this and I'm ready to celebrate this. So I feel like there's either going to be a relationship that is going to kind of move to its next level, or you're going to be celebrating a new level of something. Whether that is like a new passion, inspiration, something you've created, something that you've learned, something that you've received. I definitely feel like there's going to be a cause to celebrate you, and potentially celebrate your person if you're in a relationship, or celebrating with close friends, things like that. So the reason as to why this opportunity is going to be on its way to you is the Fool. So in this deck, this is based off of a Cartoon Network show, and Greg is a character, but it does say the Greg, but it is the Fool. And the Fool is someone who embarks on a new journey. So again, more of this Page of Pentacles, of starting something that's going to be like lucrative for you. I feel like with the Fool is number 0 of the major arcana, which is really important because it doesn't start with 1. 0 is more of a placeholder than a number though, right? So 0 is infinite potentialities. There are so many different ways in which you can find success with whatever it is that you're working on. It's just a matter of embarking on that journey and trusting as you move forward that the right steps are going to find you. So the Fool isn't necessarily someone who is foolish or who makes mistakes. We have someone who is able to move forward, not worrying about if a mistake is to be made, right? So we have like a perfectionist versus kind of a realist, like someone who's able to commit to a decision and make those steps, those actionable steps to move forward. So the Fool, technically, like for me, is someone who moves forward with honesty and integrity. They're the ones in a court that are able to actually tell the truth to the king without any repercussions, right? So the Fool is someone who is able to be authentically themselves and not have to hide behind any facades to appease anyone else. They're the ones that are able to speak the most plainly and move forward with what it is that they desire. So I feel like you have done something where you have released something that was not working for you, or you have dismissed limiting beliefs, and you are instead embarking on a new chapter for yourself. And because of that, you are going to have something to celebrate, and you are going to have a stability that maybe you have never experienced before, like within yourself, within your relationships, and also within whatever the situation is. So that's a really big deal, pile 2. I really feel like you are leveling up and just crushing it, and you're getting ready to crush it. And so I'm so excited to see what it is that's going on for you, if anybody leaves it in the comments. But I definitely feel like you are on your path to reaching the conclusion that you had originally thought was going to be only a best case scenario. I think sometimes when we make a decision and we commit to it, we start imagining all of the ways that it could have gone wrong. But for you specifically, I think you are going to be surprised with how good it can get. And then for the second opportunity that's coming in is the 5 of Pentacles. So the 5 of Pentacles is an interesting energy. So we have these two people who have kind of turned their back on this idea that the universe is going to look out for them. And they've kind of turned their back on community, on the people that would be able to help them through this situation. I'm not saying that that's going to happen to you. With the 5 of Pentacles, it can talk about a change of a living situation or a change of job. 5 is the number of change. But with these two people here, the recommendation typically is to reach out, because they're walking in the snow and they're so upset about it and they're not okay, but right behind them is this church that would be able to take them in. So we just see this beautiful stained glass window of the lit window from the inside, so we know that they would be able to seek shelter in there if they would turn around and look at it. So I think that there's going to be an opportunity that you may want to kind of overlook, or there's going to be an opportunity, whether it's to relocate and move, or whether it's like to change your career or add something onto it, that you might overlook at first because you might think it might not be a good fit for you, or your limiting beliefs that I know that you've been challenging, they might kind of pop back up again. And I'm here to tell you that whatever the situation is, it's better to say yes and give it a shot than to immediately dismiss it, or at least think about it. I recommend definitely taking a pause and deciding 100% if it fits this energy, or if you're getting caught up in the mindset of, oh, well, I'm not meant for that sort of thing, or a mindset of, oh, I'm better than that, like things like that. So I would definitely consider your options before making a split decision. So if somebody offers you something and you're immediately like, oh, I don't know, ask them for time. Ask them for time to think about it instead of immediately saying, no, I don't think I should. Because there's something about networking and community that is going to be coming up for that. So I think if it's a limiting belief issue, if it's a confidence issue, you're going to be meeting the community of people that need to meet your authentic self. So definitely make sure that you're in the right mindset to accept the opportunities that are on their way to you, because I do think there's something that you might think about saying no to, or immediately dismissing instead of considering, that could bring new people or new opportunities your way for the future as well. And the reason why this is coming through is we have another Pentacles card. So there's a lot going on in terms of like career, in terms of material wealth, and just like your physical location and things like that. So there might be something in terms of your home. In pile 1, we talked a little bit about home and maybe possibly changing your home, or if you're feeling a certain way about where you live, that's going to be changing for you. I do think that there is something in terms of your physical home as well, since we have the 5 of Pentacles here and the 4 of Wands, because the 4 of Wands is a happy home card. I feel like you are someone who, as you learn this Page of Pentacles, the recommendation is to keep going with it. And once you do, you're going to kind of find a flow. You're going to find a flow to kind of move forward. So like the push and pull of this pumpkin man juggling these pentacles is the push and pull of the ocean behind him. So we have someone who is able to do this work, and we have the infinity symbol here, the lemniscate, to kind of guide this person, so they're able to actually do this work for a long time. It's not something that bogs them down per se, as it is something that balances them, something that helps direct their attention. So from the Page of Pentacles to the 2 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles I really see as the beginning of the journey of the Pentacle suit. So I think that you being in flow is going to bring, because we have the boat here, some connections to you that will offer this other opportunity, and that will help you network. You might meet a friend through a friend, or a potential business partner or client through someone who you haven't talked to for like a long time. Different things like that. Like I definitely feel like you are someone who is very like detail oriented, and so sometimes it can be difficult for you to branch out or to allow yourself to be seen, because the way that you see things is so intricate, you don't want anything to be misconstrued. And maybe there's like a lack of trust in people sometimes. But with this energy here, there is something about branching out to community and showing off your work and showing off the dedication that you have, because there is something that's really just unique and that other people need to see or hear about it. And then in terms of signs that you can look out for when you know that these opportunities are going to be coming forward for you, let's look back at these cards here. So I definitely feel like for you, I'm getting like berries, like red berries, maybe cranberries. You might see like some holly bushes and things like that, because we have them here, and then we have like the red roses here, but I'm definitely getting like whatever these are, like berries are coming through. You might see a boat. Yeah, there's something about a boat coming through. And then for additional ones, we have the frog. So you might see frogs. You might see lotus flowers as well. And then we have rhodochrosite, which is a pink crystal. I think I have one. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go try to find it. Okay, so what's crazy is I have crystals all throughout my house, like little piles of them, and I was able to walk directly to the baggie that had this crystal in it, and it was hidden, but like I found it immediately. Like I did not have to search for it. I knew exactly where it was. So that was kind of crazy. This is a rhodochrosite heart. So you may see pink hearts. You may be, in pile 1 we talked about, you may be gifted a crystal, or you might find one, actually. I feel like you might find one with your things, or you might find one in somebody's home that maybe you weren't expecting. I'm gonna keep this guy like here. But yeah, I'm definitely getting the vibe that you might find a crystal, not necessarily like buy a crystal or be gifted a crystal. I think you're going to find something as well that maybe you have lost, that maybe you haven't seen in a while, and you're like, oh wow, I forgot about that thing when you find it. So definitely look out for those different symbols as well. It's worth a shot. All right, pile 2, and that is all I'm seeing for you at this time. I do want to thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I hope it provided you with clarity and perspective that helps you on your journey. If this reading resonated with you, please feel free to like this video, subscribe, or leave a comment. I do have a virtual tip jar as well if you feel so inclined, but you definitely don't have to leave a tip. They're not expected, but are definitely appreciated. Everything does go back into the channel that I receive as well, to create better content for you as I'm trying to figure out content creation. If you are interested as well in learning tarot for yourself, I do have some resources and digital downloads available in my Etsy store, linked down in the description box below. And if you're looking for more content from me, I have more pick a card readings in my timeless pick a card playlist, so you can check those out as well. If you did make it this far into the video, I do want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I wish you all the best. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this green calcite crystal, this is your reading. Welcome. Hopefully that'll stay there. So I do have some cards pre-shuffled for you today. So starting off with your energy, we have the moon. So with the moon here, I think that, so I feel like all 3 piles have really been like working on themselves, but I feel like you specifically have been in situations that have made you really learn about yourself. I feel like when things are uncertain or things pop up that are unexpected, we learn a lot more about how we deal with triggers or how we deal with opportunity and how we view things truly. And so I think that you've been in a position where maybe things have been a bit hectic for you. Things have been a bit hectic, or they've been almost challenging or frustrating at times. I definitely get the sense that you've been like hit with a lot of things recently that have shown you a lot about yourself, for better or for worse. And I mean, I really don't think there's a such thing as worse. There's just a more nuanced view of who you are as a person. And I think that, you know, that can be a really, really beautiful thing. So there's definitely like been some transformative moments for you that you've overcome in the past couple years, in the past couple months even. So I think that you're kind of like looking up like, okay, what's next? Do I dare ask what's next for me? So I feel like, especially with the, I'm just looking at the fact that the moon's doing like the little rock on symbol. I think that maybe you're kind of embracing the absurdity of life recently. There's been a perspective shift, and you're instead figuring out a way that will connect you with the weirdness that arises in being a person. And I think that it wasn't your choice to do this, but now that you've done it, it's really granted you some perspective that has helped you so much. It's really cool energy, I'm gonna be honest with you. But this is really cool energy of just kind of accepting things for what they are, just being like, that's life, and then you move on to the next thing, and you're kind of figuring a new creative way to focus on the good things or the things about yourself. And maybe you've started like romanticizing yourself and romanticizing your life and just being like, you know what, I have been through it and I deserve a little treat, or I deserve, you know, enjoying little aspects of my life. And I think that that's really, really this very cash money of you. So for your first opportunity, interestingly enough, we have the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is also beautiful energy. This really is just this garden that is blooming. We've trusted the process, we've trusted ourselves, we've planted the seeds, and now we are reaping what we have sown. So this is really just abundant and like wish fulfilled energy. So I do think if things have been hectic for you and you have been working on seeing the positive, that is going to be paying out for you in a really, really big way soon. So with the Nine of Pentacles, we also have a call to nature and being out in nature, maybe connecting with like earthly cycles of time. Like things always move slower in nature and in the world than it does if we're constantly on our phone, or if we are just in such a capitalist grind mindset, you know? So I feel like it's recommended for you to kind of take some time to ground and spend more time in nature, and there's actually going to be an even richer perspective once you do that. So that is really, really cool as well. The moon is going back to natural instincts and things like that as well. So I definitely feel like you are in a position where you're going to be feeling one with nature and one with your natural innermost self, and you're going to be loving it. I think you're really going to be loving it. You have like the love that you've started fostering in yourself is going to like explode, and you're going to find new connections with things that maybe you wouldn't have found if you hadn't gone through or learned the things that you have learned from recently. So we have a card as to why this is happening for you, and we have the Six of Cups. So this is really, connecting with yourself. The cup suit is all about emotions, whereas Pentacles is about, you know, financial or physical abundance. It's about your career. It's about your surroundings. So it is like about being grounded in nature, and it's about like where you are physically in the world. Whereas with cups, it's like where you are emotionally. And with the Six of Cups, this is the only cups card that has plants growing out of these cups. So like the small little plants that you have grown and fostered emotionally are going to bloom into this garden. So we have a child here, and the child is giving a cup to, typically it's another child, or it's an adult giving a cup to a child. It depends on the card. This one is him giving it to his pet frog. The cups with the flowers in them are grace, their patience, their love, their nostalgia even. Like you could be looking back at your inner child, or you could be unlearning things from childhood that had brought you pain. And so like we see this person like back here kind of like walking away from it. But we do also, like maybe you are connecting more with the love that you have for child version of you. Or, you know, there could be children involved or a child in your life that helps you learn these lessons as well. So like I'm not a parent and I don't have any children like directly in my life at this time, but I do think that being around children and like the way that they play and the way that they interact with the world really can change how you view yourself and how you view the world. And children really are like some of the most like wise and pure beings on this planet. So I think that there may be someone, if you do have, you know, children in your life, or you are a parent, you may be learning some lessons through them. that could help you foster this really beautiful energy as well. So I do see this as abundance, this opportunity, but I also see this as emotional abundance, emotional fulfillment, and feeling proud of you for what you've overcome and for who you are and for how you operate with the world, which sometimes is so much more fulfilling, because like if you're not emotionally ready to meet your physical success anywhere, if you have a specific goal and you meet that but emotionally you're not there, you're not gonna care that you reached the goal. You're gonna be looking for the next thing to focus your time on, because now that thing is done. Whereas if you're emotionally there and you're emotionally fulfilled and you're enjoying the process and you're enjoying what that process could turn into, once you reach your successes in the physical, once you develop this abundance physically, and it physically manifests for you, you're going to be that much more fulfilled by it and enjoy it that much more. For a second opportunity here, we have the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles could be you. It could be someone coming into your life, in which case, you know, this is a very like masculine energy. Kings are typically like an older man, but they definitely don't have to be a man. They could be an earth sign. I feel like if this is a person coming into your life, or you're hoping someone is coming into your life, then this could potentially be that opportunity. Like once you're emotionally fulfilled and you are feeling good about yourself and about your life and about the abundance on its way to you, the King of Pentacles could also come into your life as an additional person who fosters more of this energy for you. So if you're single and you're looking, that's definitely a possibility here. If you're in a relationship or if you're not interested in that sort of thing, that's also perfectly fine. So the King of Pentacles can be you in this situation. So you can be in a position where you have created a lot of abundance for yourself, and you are also kind of feeling more diplomatic about your life, feeling more grounded about it. I feel like you will have mastered a skill that will bring you abundance, or bring you that the physical comfort that the Pentacles suit talks about. So you could be in a position where you are making decisions, or you could level up in a sense in your career, or you could get a raise, you maybe even start your own career. I do kind of see entrepreneurship as well with the King of Pentacles. So regardless, I think you're going to be in a really good and stable financial position, or just in general with where you are. There's a lot going on with the King of Pentacles here. So with the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, you are definitely, if money is an issue, or if you are worried about a career decision you're making or anything like that, I definitely feel like you are on your way to abundance and big, beautiful blessings on their way to you. And then the situation that brings the King of Pentacles forward, we have the Four of Cups. And so with the Four of Cups, typically this talks about us being kind of discerning of the opportunities that are on their way to us. We have kind of this hand coming out from the universe and offering a cup to a person who is kind of like saying no. Typically this card can talk about like a sense of ungratefulness, or missing out on opportunities, but this person doesn't necessarily seem upset at the cup that's being offered to them. They're kind of sitting there with this calm face of, I'm content with what I have, instead of adding anything to it. So I think that what's going to bring this forward is you are going to be cultivating the skill, or using this new knowledge that you have about yourself and how you view things, and you're going to make a very calculated decision to not add something new to what you're working on. You're going to give yourself breathing room to grow what you already are working on, or what you want. And that is going to bring this decided nature and this mastery to you, because you're going to focus all of your energy on these three cups that you already have, instead of reaching out for that fourth cup, that potential. You're going to stay grounded and focus on the opportunities that you have, the lessons that you're learning here. And I really feel like you are going to feel at peace with this decision, as you should. I don't see this as ungratefulness. I don't see this as neglecting any opportunities. I see this as you're aware of what's being offered and you're instead saying no thank you. I am really happy with where I'm at. I'm really happy with what I have, and I'd like to keep focusing on that. I would like to keep my focus on me and the things that I have in my life specifically. I do also want to look at different symbols that could come forward that you might notice when you are about to receive these blessings or when these opportunities are on their way to you. First thing that's standing out is this lobster. You might see a lobster or like something like maybe even a crab, like with like the pinchers I'm seeing specifically. You may see, there might be something with a bird, specifically a red bird or a snail might be coming up for you. These grapes are also standing out to me as well. And there's also something about a song, maybe a song that you haven't heard in a long time, that the second that you hear it, you're like, ooh, I like this song. Something like that, like a song that means something to you or to somebody else that you think of fondly. You might hear it randomly, or it might get stuck in your head. There might be a random song that just gets stuck in your head and you're like, why am I singing this song? I have not heard this song in a long time. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And then we also have some cards here. We have poppy, so flowers are coming up again. So maybe even these little flowers here, stars, red flowers, specifically poppies. An Aquarius, you might meet an Aquarius, or if you know an Aquarius already, they might bring up something in conversation that, or bring up that song, you know, something like that. Like, I feel like there is something nostalgic with the Six of Cups there. There's something nostalgic that's going to find its way back to you. So that's really interesting. And then we also have rabbit. So you might see a rabbit, or you might see this sliver crescent moon as well. So there are a couple things that you can look out for when these opportunities are on their way to you, if you want to make a note of them. But I will say that that is all that I am seeing for you today, pile 3. I do want to say thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I hope it provided you with clarity and perspective that helps you on your journey. Definitely let me know in the comments if you end up experiencing any of these signs or see any of these signs, or how it works out for you. But if this reading resonated with you, please feel free to like this video, subscribe, or leave a comment. I do also have a virtual tip jar as well if you feel so inclined, but you definitely don't have to leave a tip. They are not expected, but are very appreciated, and will go back into me learning how to create better content for you guys. So they will go directly back into the channel. If you are interested in learning tarot for yourself as well, I do have some resources and digital downloads available in my Etsy store in the description box below. And if you're looking for more content from me, I do have more pick a card readings in a timeless pick a card playlist, so please feel free to check that out. And then if you've made it this far in the reading, I do want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I wish you all the best, pile 3. See you the next one. Bye-bye.